30th of November. We actually did have a little bit of sun today. I'll probably have to hurry this along because it's just gone grey. The rain is coming back. One of today's jobs for me was to take down this green manure, just chop it with the secateurs and just get it laid on the soil surface so that it breaks down and protects my soil over winter. This is the beauty of planting a cover crop or a green manure. In this case, a real diverse mixed species of covers. And about a month ago, I've already been over these green manure plants. Most of it was probably at this height, I would say. And I took it all down to here, so I directly chopped the top. A lot of it mustard, some of it buckwheat. Just left that on, just literally just chopped it up, left it on the rest of the plants. That's fallen down between these plants and already broken down. And what I'm doing today is further removing these tops because the frosts of this last week have just essentially killed most everything there now. There's nothing that I've sowed is now growing, is what I'm saying. You can see even that fenugreek there. I don't know if you can see that, that has all just flopped over in the last 2 days. We've had some really heavy rain yesterday. You know, the rain that comes in sideways with raindrops that long? Yeah, that completely pushed that fenugreek over, which the frost had killed. So my job's been done there. So today what I do, rather than, it's much easier to chop these off at the base, but then you've got these long stalks that are going to take longer to break down and are not going to protect the soil as well as they are broken up into smaller pieces, because the smaller pieces cover more area. So what I do is I just start off at higher up like that, about 6 inches high from the top. So I take down, and this just automatically chops it into smaller pieces. Then I'll go further down still to the point where I'm almost on the soil surface, chopping up. And as you further chop, the pieces you've already cut get chopped up a little bit more, guys. So that is today's job. Here's the rain to get that, all this ground now looking like that. This is the beauty of green manure, because there's your compost now until next March, and your soil protection, food for microbes and food for worms. Right, let's show you what I've been up to in the polytunnel. Just come into the tunnel because, as you maybe hear, it's pouring down now out there. It's a beautiful rainbow over the back, which I can't show you because it's yeah, the camera doesn't like the rain. But on odd occasions this week I've been coming into the tunnel just sorting the ground out for next year. And yes, horror of horrors, I've actually resorted to forking over the soil, but for very good reason actually. Now when I built this tunnel, I literally just raked this ground level, built the tunnel, put these 2 boards in to form a path, dug out some of this central soil and put it onto the beds just to level the ground out, because the ground was sloping from the back forward. It still is, but it's better than it was. Now, I didn't dig this soil, it was literally just covered in compost. But what I've been finding since I built the tunnel, when I am rooting around in the soil, putting plants in, pulling plants out, I keep getting my hands cut with pieces of glass. Anyway, so what I found as I started forking the soil over was pieces of glass, tiles, bits of slate, bits of plastic. Guys, the amount of junk some people bury, you know, it's just unbelievable. You know, and they've obviously used this back end of the allotment as a dumping ground and a burial ground for all the crap that they generated on site. So I did find just there. So that was here. As soon as my fork got into that depth, I felt it clank on something. So went and got the spade, started excavating that, and there was just a ton of glass buried in there. What's in this bucket here is what they've buried or just discarded in the soil. Is it any wonder my hands have been getting cut? Now all I've done is that back section there, about Yeah, not even 2 forks wide. I've basically just dug down that perimeter. I should have done this before I put the lettuce in, but it never occurred to me there would be so much glass in here. So I'm not going to touch the lettuce area, but I'm going to continue digging that side over. This side of the tunnel is nowhere near as bad. There's virtually no glass in that. I've never really cut myself in there. It's just this side along this, where the fence is for the field. I've obviously just thrown all the garbage in there. Now what I've got on the bench are some very, very, very leggy beans. I'll just show you them. Yeah, these poor fellas. After the mice or rats ate the beans outside, you maybe saw that I sowed another 200 beans, basically, almost 180 actually, 180 more beans. And this tray I took home and put them under the table in the conservatory. I covered them with a plastic sheet just to help them germinate. Basically forgot about them. At the point I came to look at the beans to see how they were doing, they were already about this tall, a thin sprig. So I brought them in here, they've carried on growing, but the growth has now slowed. So they are really leggy, really, really leggy, but I am still going to put them out. Now these beans, another 80 or 100 beans, I sowed these here in the tunnel, and instead of taking them home, I put them into the shed, and I just left them in the shed. And then once they started germinating, I brought them back into the tunnel. You just see how much better these are. Beautiful root system on them already. Some of them are starting to circle around the base of the pot, but they're much healthier beans. I'm actually just going to turn those round because they are light leaning, so they're all leaning towards the sunlight. Just spin them around a bit so they don't get too bent over. So the beans are going to go out at some point and just have to see if the rodents eat them again. The sun's back out, and on days like this, right at the end of November, it's so nice to be here. It's just beautiful. So get out in nature, guys, get some sunlight on your body. And I am going to carry on cutting down my covers, because why don't we just let the microbes, the fungi and the worms do all the work and make our ground beautiful, fertile and healthy, ready for next year. Because there ain't much else we can do at the moment. And done. Oh, wonderful. 6 more to go. See you on the next one. Oh yeah, there's some root on that.